So, this happened to me about a year ago. I was driving cross-country, moving from Hollywood, Florida to Glendale, Arizona for a new job. I'd already been on the road for 2 days, and by the time I hit West Texas, I was completely exhausted. It was past midnight, and I told myself I'd stop at the first motel I saw. That's when I saw this busted-up old place off exit 203. The kind of motel where half the neon sign doesn't work and there's only one flickering light in the parking lot. But I was too tired to care. I pull in. There's maybe 3 or 4 cars parked, all old, spaced out like people didn't even bother to park straight. The office is open, barely lit, and a woman with short gray hair is sitting behind a counter watching an old romantic comedy. She doesn't say much, just asks for my ID and slides me a key with a big plastic tag that says, Room 6. When I ask if the place is safe, she just says, "You'll be fine. Lock your door." I find my room. It's got that damp motel smell, old AC, and dust. The sheets are kind of clean. The TV doesn't work. The bathroom light flickers, but it stays on, so I leave it that way. I lock the door, double-check the window, and crawl into bed. It's quiet. Like, way too quiet. No traffic, no other guests, just dead silence. I wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know what time it is. The clock by the bed is blank. Power might have gone out, or maybe it was never plugged in. My phone has no reception. That's when I hear it. It's soft, like something dragging across glass. I freeze. It's coming from the window. I sit up slowly. The curtain's closed, but there's a little gap on the side. And through that gap, I see a shadow. Someone is standing right outside my window. I don't move. I just sit there and stare at the outline of this person. They're not knocking, not speaking, just standing there. Then they crouch down. I see their shadow lower, and the light under the window disappears, like they're trying to peek through the bottom. I reach for my phone and just start recording. Not even sure why. Maybe I wanted proof. Maybe I thought it would scare them off. But after maybe a minute, the shadow moves away. Footsteps crunch slowly down the gravel path. And then, nothing. I don't sleep the rest of the night. When the sun finally rises, I pack up fast. I don't shower. I don't even change. I just want to get out of there. But when I get to my car, I can feel something's off. I get in, put the key in the ignition. Click, nothing. I try again. Click, click. The car won't start. I get out to check thinking maybe the battery's dead, but that's not it. My front tire is slashed. Then I check the back. Same thing. 2 tires. Clean cuts, like someone used a knife. And then I see something under the windshield wiper. A folded piece of paper. My stomach drops. I open it. 4 words written in red ink. "You stayed too long." I call 911. It takes 3 tries to get through. Finally, someone picks up and says they'll send a deputy, but it'll be a while. I lock myself in my car and wait. Every noise outside makes my skin crawl. The sheriff shows up about 45 minutes later, walks up slow, like he's seen this before, looks at the tires, the note, doesn't even ask many questions. He says, "This place attracts the wrong kind." I ask him if anything like this has happened before. He just gives me this look like, yeah, like this isn't the first time someone left this motel scared out of their mind. I still don't know who was outside my window. I never found out if they were just trying to scare me, or if they were waiting for me to open the door. All I know is, I didn't, and I never will again. Don't stop at the first motel you see, especially if it's off exit 203.
Robert and Tamara Walker needed this vacation. After a year of deadlines, traffic, and the soul-crushing grind of city life, a week at the Grand Belmont Hotel was their escape. 5 stars, marble floors. A room so lavish it made their apartment look like a storage closet. But by the third night, they realized why room 1413 was always available.
Rob, look at this place. That chandelier's got to be real crystal.
Bet it costs more than our car, haha.
Finally. No emails, no meetings. Just us.
You hear that?
Hear what? Rob, are you awake?
Why?
I keep hearing scratching, like something's inside the walls.
Probably just the pipes. Old building, you know.
You shouldn't be here.
What the hell?
Okay, that wasn't the pipes.
Maybe we should take the stairs.
Come on, it's fine. Probably just the wind last night.
Rob, we're going up.
That's impossible. This hotel doesn't have a 13th floor.
You'll stay forever.
We need to check out. Now.
In 1987, a family of 3 died in this room. Murder-suicide. The father, he threw his wife and daughter off the balcony before jumping himself.
You're in our room.
Run! Stairs! Now! We're trapped.
Checkout time is never.
1413. Excellent choice.
A year ago, a couple's life turned into a walking nightmare when they got trapped inside a terrifying hotel. Sarah and Jake were a young married couple from California. They were 27, met each other in high school, and got married just over a year ago. Life was busy and stressful for them, so when they got invited to Sarah's cousin's wedding in Seattle, they saw it as the perfect excuse to see friends and family that they haven't seen in years. The wedding was beautiful, held in a large hall near the Seattle waterfront. There was music, laughter, dancing, and love in the air. Everyone had a great time, and for once, Sarah and Jake felt completely at peace. Everything was fun until they reached the place where they were going to stay after the wedding. When the wedding was over, instead of heading back home, Jake had an idea to stay in the city for a few more days as he had found a cool hotel with a great view, and it was not even that expensive. He suggested this to Sarah, and she agreed without thinking much. A few more days away from everything sounded perfect to them. Jake booked them a room at a place called Hotel Larchwood, an old hotel tucked away in a quiet part of the city. The hotel was old and creepy, but grand from the outside. As they went inside, the hotel looked creepy with scary drawings on the walls. The doors of the hotel creaked. The floor made terrifying sounds as they walked on it, and the echoes in that hotel were bone-chilling. Jake talked to some people around the area to share the discomfort he had after looking at the hotel. He was shocked to hear the dark stories associated with the hotel that people shared with him. They told him that the 13th floor of the hotel was sealed by the officials due to several unexplained deaths. It was spooky to hear that the hotel had a lot of secrets hidden within it, but the couple didn't care much about it as they didn't scare easily. Plus, they needed a place to stay for their getaway trip. The front desk was empty at first until an older woman stepped out from the back room. She barely smiled and spoke in a flat voice when she handed them the key to room 914, up on the 9th floor. The elevator was slow and made strange creaking noises, but they laughed it off. The hallway on the 9th floor was dark and cold, even though the heaters were on. Sarah felt at first that something wasn't right. Ignoring every sign they had, they placed their stuff in the room and got settled in, unaware of the terrible mistake they had just made. That evening, after getting some rest, they finally decided to go out and explore the city at night. When they got into the hallway near the elevator, the lights flickered and the buttons on the elevator lit up and blinked on their own. Jake pressed the ground button, and instead of going down, the elevator went up to the 13th floor. There was no button for it, but still, the elevator stopped there and the doors opened. The hallway in front of them was long, dark, and silent. There were no room numbers, and the lights buzzed and flickered. Something about it felt very wrong. "Let's not get out!" Sarah shouted. They stayed inside it, and as they kept pressing the ground button desperately, they heard a loud bang as if a body fell down at the end of the hallway, and then they heard a woman crying from the same place. "Help me! He's still here!" Jake reached out, but Sarah firmly responded, "No, we're not getting out." All of a sudden, he saw someone moving in the dark, and as the elevator door started closing, a disfigured body started running from the far end of the hallway, closing in on them. Just before it reached them, the doors sealed shut, and the figure slammed against the other side with a loud scream. Luckily, they were out of the situation, but this was just the beginning of the nightmare ahead of them. They wandered around for some time, had a great dinner trying to forget everything that happened to them, and then went back toward the hotel to sleep for the night. They were so afraid of the elevator this time that they went to the 9th floor through stairs only. By the time they reached their room, all they wanted was a good night's sleep. But the sinister hotel had other plans for them. That night, strange things started happening. While Sarah was brushing her hair in front of the room's mirror, she saw something move behind her. It looked like a dark figure near the bathroom door. She turned around quickly, but no one was there. Jake was still in the shower. When she asked him if he walked behind her, he said no. They both laughed it off, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Then she went to the bathroom, and shortly after that, Jake heard her screaming. She came from the bathroom and told him while crying that there was someone in there. She had seen someone behind her back in the mirror again. It was a scary-looking old man, according to her. Jake thought that she might be tired and hallucinating and told her to stay in the room, whereas he went to the bathroom to see what was up with the mirror. But there was nothing strange in there. "See, Sarah, there is no one here." But he didn't hear anything in response from his wife. As he got out, the room was empty and Sarah was gone. He searched everywhere and called her name, but there was no sign of her. He ran through the hotel and searched every floor, but she had vanished without a trace. Finally, on his way back to the 9th floor through the elevator, it didn't stop and took him back to the 13th floor again, and there she was. The floor was covered with darkness, and the only light on that floor was flickering ominously, making it even more horrifying. In that darkness, at the end of the hallway, there stood Sarah in front of a room. That was the door to the same room which was sealed due to mysterious occurrences happening there. He ran towards her and shook her. She was sort of unconscious and didn't know how she got there. He took her back to the room, but since then she started behaving weirdly. Both of them went to bed after that to rest, and Jake turned the lights off to let her sleep. After sleeping for about 1 hour, he heard a whisper in a heavy voice. 1, 2, 3. He woke up and thought that it might be Sarah, so, with his eyes closed, he told her to sleep. Sleep. After some time, he woke up again from a whisper. 522, 523, 524. "Can you please go to sleep and not joke at this time of the night?" Jake demanded. But he was unaware of the danger that was lurking around him. Again, he heard a whisper after some time, this time even more violent. 2,407, 2,408, 2,409. He didn't let it go this time and turned around to see Sarah, but she was not on the bed. He could still hear those counting whispers. He started navigating through the dark room, and in the corner, Sarah was sitting on the floor, facing the corner wall, plucking her hair one by one and counting them. A whole bunch of her hair was in front of her, and her head was almost bald and bleeding. He started screaming and grabbed her from behind. She started laughing violently, and as he picked her up to take her to the hospital, he saw a man standing in another corner of the room. He was scary. His face was all messed up as if it was burnt, and his body was all disfigured, like the same figure they saw on the 13th floor. Sarah was laughing like a maniac in Jake's arms. He started screaming for help. The old woman from the front desk came to help, and it seemed as if she knew that this was going to happen. Jake asked her about the person that he saw in the room. Old woman. It might be someone from the staff who came there to help them, but as far as Jake remembered him, it wasn't a human, or even if it was, how did it get there? He ignored everything and took Sarah to the hospital. It took her a month to get back to normal, and that's how a pleasant trip turned into a complete nightmare. Those who made it out of that hotel alive complained that they experienced something scary in that hotel, which haunted them for the rest of their lives.